Good morning, dolls and gents. How y'all doing this morning? I hope you are feeling blessed in the Lord this morning. I just want to be on here for a brief moment. I want to let you know that you were not born to be the way that we live sometimes. We feel like that we're born that way. I hear people say, I was born gay, or I've been like this all my life. My mama was like this. My daddy was like this. Generational curses are real. You were not born to live a nasty, bitter, broken life. You were not born to be gay. Generational curses are passed down through the bloodline. If you look back over your life and see what kind of generational curses are chasing your family, is everybody in your family married? Not married and has several children? Are the people in your family blessed and highly favored? Because generational blessings are also passed down through the bloodline. But when you recognize that there's a generational curse, are all your aunties mean, nasty, bitter, and broken? And then you find yourself being nasty and mean and bitter to your husband at times? It's a generational curse. If you just wake up in the morning and you're just irritated, that is not how you're supposed to be. But it's generational curses that have plagued our lives for years. And so we don't have to stay like that, is what I want to tell you. You do not have to live like that. So many men live with a spirit of fornication and a spirit of adultery because their fathers live like that. You were not born that way. It's generational curses. Someone told me with my ex-husband, his mother told me he can't help it. His grandfather was a cheater. His father was a cheater. They're breeders. That's the word that she used. No, that's generational curses that have been passed down through the bloodline. But somebody has to stand up and have a blood transfusion. Come on in the room. Because whenever you get a blood transfusion, the blood of Jesus breaks all generational curses. When you stand up and you say, I will not be in covenant with those things that have called in my name that my daddy went through. I seen my father lose his marriage because he was cheating on my mother. I seen my brothers and my brothers and sisters go through different things because that's what we saw growing up. Because that's what grandma did. That's what granddaddy did. That's what my great grandmother did. My great grandfather smoked cigarettes, so now I smoke cigarettes. No, we have to stand up to those generational curses that have been plaguing our bloodline and get a blood transfusion. I'm trying to tell you that it is so amazing to come into covenant with the Lord and come out of covenant with the devil. You have to break those generational curses off of your life. You have to say, not my children. See, that's what I had to do. That's what I had to do. I had to say, not my children. They will not deal with sexual perversion because their mother is dealing with it. No. I'm going to stand up to that thing. I stood up to it toe to toe and I said, you can't have me. You can't have my children. You can't have nobody that sits in my chair. You can't have nobody that I love. Nobody that used to love me. The devil is a lie. You have to call a ceasefire on the devil. You have to come out of covenant with these generational curses. You have to come out of covenant with these things that are calling your name. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Is it bringing life or is it bringing death? We smoke cigarettes, but I want to tell you that they're not bringing life. Blunts and blacks, they're not bringing life. Heroin and crack, it's not bringing life. It's coming to kill, steal, and destroy. Not only your physical body, it's killing your spirit. It's also killing the people that are around you, that are watching you go through the things that they're watching you go through. Come on in the room. We have to be mindful that generational curses are real. They're real. And when I tell my son all the time, you have to know the devils that you are standing up against. I tell him this all the time. Do not start playing around with pornography and masturbation, because the devils that are on your bloodline, sexual perversion comes for the men in your family. That's why all of the men in his family have a lot of children out of wedlock with a lot of different women in a lot of different homes. And they think they just, I'm a player. We've been players. My granddaddy was a player. We pimps. No. It's a generational curse. Come out of covenant. I tell my son, and my sister's a nurse, and so she was like, it's okay to masturbate. It's natural. That's what the devil said. But the Bible said it's not sexual purity, first of all. But let me show you how small masturbation turns into a whole big philanthropy. This is what happens. Masturbation, first of all, it's out of covenant with the Lord because sex was designed for two. In marriage. Come on in the room, not by yourself. And in order to masturbate, you have to have your mind set on things that are perverted sexually. You got to be thinking about something that is not of God, because you cannot be thinking of the glory of the Lord and masturbating. Is what it is, ain't what it ain't. That's how you kill that devil right there. I'm trying to tell you. So I told her, I said, you know, if it starts with that, then it starts with the thought. Those thoughts, sexual thoughts have to start entering your mind. And then you look at something. Maybe you're looking at it on TV or on a magazine, whatever you're looking at it. And now it starts to consume your thoughts. And now he could be sitting in math class trying to learn math, and then an image cross his mind because that's what he's been feeding himself. It could be something simple that triggers something that makes him have a sexual thought because it's what it's been feeding himself. Now your mind is wandering on something else. You can't concentrate on math because you're looking at the girl's booty in front of you. I'm trying to tell y'all, you have to be mindful. Then after a while, masturbation is not going to be enough. You're going to want something else because the music that the world listens to tells you that you need something else. So if you're listening to that music, you're watching those images, you're thinking of the things of the flesh, it is only a matter of time before you start to indulge. And after you get a taste of the devil, he makes it sound good. It feels good to the flesh, baby. Sin feels good to the flesh. People need to stop playing. It's real. Let's deal with it for what it is so that people can get free. So then after you get a taste, after you get a touch, and it feels amazing to you, then you're going to come out one of three ways, or a combination. You're either going to come out getting somebody pregnant, or you're going to come out with a sexually transmitted disease, or you're going to come out with an appetite that leads to addiction. So now you got all of these new things. You've introduced yourself to these new devils and these new things that are consuming your time, your energy, your mind. And then you look up and you either have children and you have more children. You can even have one child and it throws you off course. Children are blessings. I'm not saying they're not blessings, but when they're not when they're not birthed out of covenant with the Lord, it brings burden. The blessings of the Lord are joy-filled. They don't bring burden. So you have to be mindful. Then when you birth a child out of wedlock, you are birthing them right on in the spirit of sexual immorality, fornication, adultery. Then they wonder why they get 16 and 17. That's why my son is having these things. See, I'm honest, because we were not married when I had my son. So he was already birthed out of a situation that was not in covenant with the Lord. He was birthed out of fornication. So that's why those devils are knocking on his door. My daughter, me and my husband were married by the time I had my daughter. She doesn't have those things wearing her soul out. It is real. You have to think beyond yourself. When you become a parent, your life is not your own. You become a teacher every single day. Everything you do, you are teaching. You don't have to say a word. The way you wake your children up, you're teaching. The way you cook breakfast, you're teaching. The way you dress, you're teaching. What are you teaching your children? Come out of covenant with generational curses on purpose today. Be free. Have a blood transfusion. Come into the newness of Christ. Give it over to the Lord and watch him work it out. Y'all be blessed, and I'll see you soon.